have a creepy story for you. The day this girl I know, she messages me and she says, I've got the creepiest story of all creepy stories. And I'm like, tell me straight away. A few years ago, she starts dating this guy and it's quite casual. She's not looking for anything super serious because she's not long split up from her little girl's dad. After a while, this guy starts to open up about his ex and he starts to say things like she was a bit creepy, she was a bit crazy. This girl, she's thinking, this is a red flag. I don't like it that this man is speaking about his ex with so much disdain. One night, they are chilling at her house. They're just Netflix and chill, or maybe not that, but they're just watching a film, let's say. And he starts to act really shifty. Like his phone's going off and he starts to kind of like bead sweat. Like he looked like there was a serious problem. So in the end, she just says, you know, like, do you need to leave? Is there something that you need to do? You seem to be checking your phone a lot. And he just opens up. And by open up, I mean like breaks down about the fact that this woman, his ex, is like driving around outside this girl's house. Yes, she's like circling as if they're prey. The girl, the one that I know, she starts to think, I don't want to be involved in any of this. This is weird. And I also don't like that this woman now knows where I live with my daughter. As a single woman, she's like, this doesn't feel good. And so eventually she asks him to leave. She just says, I think it would be best if you get your coat and leave and take your crazy ex with you. And he does exactly that. He leaves. A few days later, she doesn't know if she's being paranoid at this point, but there is a certain car that she keeps seeing. It keeps driving around her house. Again, a bit like a shark would for prey. And so eventually she messages this guy and just says, what car does your ex have? And surprise, surprise, it is exactly that car. But then things start to get even weirder. So this girl, for a living, she makes like cupcakes, cakes, things like that for like birthday parties, children, whatever. She starts to get lots of inquiries on her website, and she started to realise that a lot of these inquiries, there were certain words spelt the same, spelling mistakes, like things just looked as if they'd been typed by the same person. So she asked the guy, do you think that this could be her? And he says, unfortunately, yes, I think it could be her. She also starts to get prank phone calls to her number at all times of the night. Assumed that it was this girl and she was maybe checking to see if the guy was there, even though at that point she had completely stopped seeing this guy altogether. So one night she gets the phone call, it's the middle of the night, and she's had enough at this point, and she just shouts down the phone, I'm no longer seeing the guy's name and please leave me alone, I know it's you. Immediately the phone goes dead, and in her head she's thinking, maybe I have finally done enough now that she knows I know it's her and she will stop. But whoever it is, they don't stop. They carry on ringing. And all of a sudden her business page starts getting left loads of bad reviews. And there were so many bad reviews that she wouldn't have even been able to make this many cakes in a year, let alone the space of a few days. They're just one after another, bang, 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 awful reviews. One person said that they had food poisoning from one of her cakes. Another one said that she didn't turn up for a wedding, and she doesn't even make wedding cakes. I had to Google it. Apparently you can go on, you can buy bad reviews. Terrifying. At this point she reaches out to the police. There's nothing you can do, and they're like, technically not, because we have no proof that it was her. But at this point she decides, woman to woman, she's just going to message this girl and just tell her, we're not even seeing each other anymore, and if this is you, please stop. Woman, she replies almost immediately and she says, no, that isn't me. This man, the guy that you were seeing, he did exactly the same to me, and he told me it was his ex-girlfriend, and now he's saying it's me. She says he's a nutcase. She tried to get rid of him, but he is still on her case, and he tries to use other women to make her jealous, and it just obviously it doesn't work. She doesn't want to be anywhere near him. She starts to put two and two together, and she's like, that would make more sense, because since we've been having all this creepy stuff going on, he has been messaging me a lot to see if I'm okay. If anything, it kind of makes him look like a bit of a hero, because he can swoop in and be like, let's team up against this nutcase of a woman who's like dogging out your cake business. And she actually ends up apologizing to this woman, and the next time the guy messages her, she really tells him what for, tells him, do not ever contact me again, and he doesn't. He leaves it at that. Oh, these two are now friends on Facebook, and she starts to comment on this lady's post. Whenever she would post a picture with her daughter, she would comment and say how beautiful her daughter is, and just generally say nice things. Anyway, a few months pass, and all of the bad reviews, everything stopped, and so she thinks it was definitely that weirdo of a guy, and I'm glad that he's well gone out of our lives. So one day she posts a picture of her daughter's birthday cake. She posts it to her business page. It's reactivated at this point, and the first person to comment is this woman. She messages her and she tells her, I'd love to make your daughter a bag for her birthday to kind of apologise for everything that you two have been through recently, because obviously this whole like stalking thing, it had really stressed her mum out. So she accepts, she thinks it's a really nice gesture. Later that day, this woman comes and she drops off this beautiful little bag. It's like sequined on the outside, and it's pink and it's kind of glittery, and her daughter absolutely loves it. She says, thank you, the ladies part way. And after that, they have minimal interactions, if any at all. It would just be like a like here and a like there. The next few weeks and months for this woman are absolutely unbearable. Her dad gets really sick and he ends up in hospital. She writes her car off. She ends up falling out with her daughter's dad. Things that had just never happened before. The cakes that she makes, they're just failing. They don't look good. People are actually complaining, and she knows that it is her fault, and she puts it down to the stress that she has been under. Seemingly nothing is connected until one day she takes her daughter to a birthday party. All the girls arrive, they're all in their best clothes, and her daughter just happens to be carrying that little bag. One of the other mums says, oh, my little girl has that bag at home. And she looks at the mum and says, oh, so do you know blah, blah, blah that makes the little bags then? And she says, no. That bag's from Shein. She thinks to herself, why on earth would this woman have pretended to hand make this bag for my daughter when she in fact just bought it from Shein? And so when she goes home, she has a closer look at the bag, and she starts to notice that there are indeed some stitches that just don't look good. They definitely don't look like the stitches of somebody who knew what they were doing and was making children clothes for a long time. And so she starts to unpick the stitches, and when she gets inside of the lining of that little bag, she finds teeth. Human teeth and hair. Crazy woman had done some sort of spell. I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know what term you want to use for it, but she had used human hair and teeth to do it. She asked people what to do, and someone tells her to do a return to sender spell, and they do it for her, and it works. All the bad stuff ends. And always told me you do not accept gifts from strangers. No such thing as a free lunch.